At a certain point in your life, you will hit a wall that no one warned you about. It isn't a wall of failure, it is the wall of flatness. You're scrolling through videos that used to make you laugh. Nothing. You're with people you love, and you feel like you're watching them through glass. The food tastes like cardboard. The music sounds like noise. Even your victories feel hollow, like you're collecting trophies in a game you've stopped caring about. You wake up in the morning and there's a weight on your chest that has no name. Not sadness, not anxiety, just absence, like someone reached into your chest and turned down the volume on everything. You go through your day, checking boxes, work, exercise, socializing, but it feels like you're piloting a robot version of yourself. And here's the worst part. You can't explain it to anyone, because from the outside, your life looks fine, maybe even good. You have things other people want. You're functional. You're not crying in the bathroom or unable to get out of bed. You're just empty. When this happens, the brain panics. You think you are depressed. You think there's a chemical imbalance. You Google Anhedonia at 2 a.m. You wonder if you need medication, therapy, a vacation, a career change, a breakup, or all of the above. You think you've lost your ability to feel pleasure, that something fundamental has broken inside you. Your friends tell you to practice gratitude, to find your passion again, to get out of your comfort zone. And you try. You really do. You force yourself to go to that party. You say yes to that trip. You download the meditation app. You start the morning routine, but it all feels like you're painting over rust. The surface looks fine, but underneath, something is still corroding. But what if I told you that this numbness isn't a malfunction? What if it's actually a molting? What if your brain isn't broken? It's upgrading. You aren't losing your joy. You are outgrowing it. And what I'm about to show you will completely change how you understand what's happening to you right now. Let me explain what is actually happening to you. You see, most of what you call joy was really just relief. It was the dopamine hit from escaping boredom. It was the rush of novelty. It was scratching an itch you didn't even know you were creating. Let me break this down. Think about the last time you felt genuine excitement. Maybe it was booking a trip, buying something you wanted, starting a new relationship, or getting a promotion. Now ask yourself, how long did that feeling last? A day? A week? And then what happened? You returned to baseline. Or worse, you returned to a baseline that felt even flatter than before. This is because you weren't experiencing joy. You were experiencing relief from discomfort. Your brain had created a state of wanting, of lack, of "I'll be happy when," and then briefly released that tension. The pleasure wasn't in the thing itself. It was in the momentary escape from the discomfort of not having it. It's like being thirsty. The first sip of water feels incredible, but you're not actually enjoying the water. You're enjoying the relief from thirst. And if you want to keep feeling that pleasure, you have to keep making yourself thirsty. You have to keep creating the itch so you can enjoy scratching it. But you have finally realized that you were running on a hamster wheel, calling the motion progress, calling the distraction happiness. You were addicted to the cycle of craving and relief, mistaking it for fulfillment. And your brain, in its desperate attempt to keep the game going, kept raising the stakes. The dopamine hits had to get bigger, faster, more intense. Your brain was getting pleasure from things that required you to stay asleep, to stay in a state of perpetual incompleteness, to believe that you were always one purchase, one achievement, one experience away from finally feeling whole. The moment you started waking up, questioning your habits, your relationships, your purpose, the old joys stopped working, not because they disappeared, but because you changed frequency. Think of a caterpillar. One day it stops eating. It hangs upside down and seals itself inside a chrysalis. And inside that darkness, something horrifying happens. It doesn't just grow wings, it dissolves. Its entire body turns to mush. Every cell, every structure liquefies into organic soup. If you could peer inside that chrysalis, you wouldn't see a caterpillar slowly growing wings. You would see formless goo, no eyes, no legs, no recognizable structure, just undifferentiated biological material floating in a protective shell. To the outside world, it looks dead, but it's not dying. It's reorganizing. The caterpillar must become nothing before it can become something new. The DNA is still there, the blueprint is intact, but the old form has to completely disintegrate before the new form can emerge. And here's the critical part. If you tried to crack open the chrysalis to save it, if you tried to speed up the process because you felt sorry for it, you would kill the butterfly. The mush phase isn't optional. It's not a mistake. It's not something to be fixed or rushed through. It's the necessary destruction that precedes transformation. The caterpillar doesn't know it's becoming a butterfly. It just knows that everything it was has stopped working. It can't eat anymore. It can't crawl anymore. Its entire existence has been reduced to waiting in the dark, in a state that would look like death to anyone watching. Right now, you are in the mush. The old world of easy pleasures, the Netflix binges, the surface friendships, the weekend drinking, the shopping therapy, the social media scrolling, the busyness disguised as purpose. It looks like a carnival you've aged out of. You can still see people enjoying the rides. You can see them getting excited about things that used to excite you. They're laughing at jokes that feel hollow. They're pursuing goals that feel meaningless. They're having conversations that circle around the same topics, never going deeper, never touching anything real. And you want to feel what they're feeling. You want to get back on the rides. But when you force yourself to engage with the old pleasures, you just feel motion sickness. You feel like you're faking it, like you're an actor who's forgotten how to believe in the script. You can say the lines, hit the marks, but there's no life behind it. It feels like you are a stranger in your own life. You're going through the motions, saying the right words, laughing at the right moments. But there's a part of you that has already left the building. There's a witness inside you now, watching everything with a kind of detached curiosity, wondering, is this it? Is this what I was so invested in? And the worst part? No one else can see it. They think you're fine. They think you're just going through a phase, or stressed from work, or need to get laid, or should exercise more. They give you solutions for a problem they can't even properly identify. Because the problem isn't that you're sad. It's that you're between frequencies. You're not. You're between identities. The old self is dead, but the new self hasn't been born yet. And that gap, that empty space where joy used to live, is terrifying. Because we're taught that transformation is supposed to feel empowering. We're sold the idea that growth feels like expansion, like excitement, like breakthrough moments. But real transformation, real evolution, it feels like dissolution. It feels like loss. It feels like everything that defined you is being stripped away, and you have no idea what, if anything, will replace it. You're not depressed. You're in the void. And the void doesn't respond to positive thinking. It doesn't care about your gratitude journal. It doesn't give you a timeline or a roadmap. It just asks you to wait in the darkness and trust that something is happening even though you can't see it. This is why you feel so alone right now, because everyone around you is still operating in the caterpillar paradigm. They're still chasing the next leaf, the next achievement, the next hit of dopamine. And you're trying to explain to them that the leaves don't taste like anything anymore, and they look at you like you're crazy. The reason you are suffering is that you are trying to force the old joys to work. You're watching the same shows, hoping they'll finally click. You're scrolling through social media, hoping something will finally feel meaningful. You're going to therapy talking about your childhood, hoping to find the wound that, once healed, will restore your ability to feel. You're asking your friends, "What's wrong with me?" And they say, "Nothing. You just need to get out more." Or maybe you need a change of scenery. Or have you tried medication? And you try all of it. You change the external circumstances, you adjust the chemistry, you process the trauma, and still the flatness remains. But here's the truth. Nothing is wrong with you. You are in metamorphosis. Your old sources of joy were designed for the caterpillar. They were low-frequency pleasures, instant, loud, external. They required constant stimulation, constant novelty, constant validation from outside yourself. They kept you in a state of seeking, of becoming, of not yet. But you are dissolving into something that requires high-frequency fuel, and you can't rush it. You can't think your way out of the chrysalis. You can't positive affirmation yourself into butterfly form. You can only surrender to the emptiness. And I know how insane that sounds. Everything in our culture tells us to fight depression, to overcome numbness, to push through the hard times. We're told that surrender is weakness, that acceptance is giving up, that sitting in the void is wasting time. But the caterpillar in the chrysalis isn't fighting. It's not trying to speed up the process. It's not looking for hacks or shortcuts. It's just letting itself be dissolved, trusting the biological intelligence that's reorganizing it at a cellular level. Stop trying to fill the void with the old noise. Let it be quiet. Let it be boring. Let it feel like death. Because on the other side of this darkness is a kind of joy you've never experienced before. But you have to stop trying to resurrect the corpse of your old joy. You have to let it die completely. This means saying no to things that used to work. It means pulling back from friendships that drain you. It means sitting alone on a Friday night and not feeling like you're missing out. It means letting yourself be unproductive, uninspired, unmotivated, without making it mean something's wrong with you. The void is not your enemy. It's your cocoon. And the work right now isn't to fill it. It's to inhabit it, to stop running from the emptiness and start getting curious about what it's making space for. If you stay with this emptiness, if you stop running from it, stop pathologizing it, stop trying to fix it, a new kind of aliveness will emerge. It won't be the loud, frantic joy of the caterpillar. It won't be the sugar rush, the adrenaline spike, the validation high. It will be something deeper, a quiet okayness that doesn't need constant stimulation, a sense that you are enough exactly as you are without needing to achieve, perform, or consume anything. You'll look at a sunset and actually see it for the first time in years. Not as content for Instagram, not as a reminder that you should be more grateful, just as a sunset, a moment of beauty that doesn't need to mean anything or lead anywhere. You'll have a conversation and feel connected without needing to perform, without scanning for their reaction, without crafting the perfect response, without turning it into material for your life story. Just two people talking, and it's enough. You'll sit in silence and not feel like you're wasting time. You won't need the podcast, the music, the scroll. The silence itself will feel full, rich, interesting, like you're finally listening to a frequency you've been blocking out your whole life. The butterfly doesn't miss being a caterpillar. It doesn't look back at the leaf and think, "I wish I could enjoy eating that again." It doesn't feel guilty for not wanting to crawl anymore. It's too busy flying. And the joy it experiences? It's not the joy of consumption. It's the joy of being, of existing as the thing it was always meant to become. It doesn't need external validation. It doesn't need constant novelty. It doesn't need relief from some manufactured discomfort. It just is. And that isness, that sense of completion that doesn't require anything outside itself, is the joy that's waiting for you on the other side of this numbness. But you have to trust the process. You have to stop demanding that it happen on your timeline. You have to stop comparing your chrysalis to everyone else's highlight reel. You have to let the mush be mush for as long as it needs to be. However, there is a specific danger that happens right after you come out of the chrysalis. It is the danger of spiritual materialism, of thinking that because you've transcended the old joys, you are now above everyone else. You start looking at people who still enjoy surface pleasures and feel a subtle superiority. You think, I've evolved beyond that. I'm operating at a higher frequency now. You turn your awakening into a new identity, a new ego structure, and suddenly you're not free. You're just trapped in a more sophisticated cage. You become the person who can't enjoy anything because you're too busy analyzing whether it's conscious enough. You can't watch a silly movie because you're too evolved for escapism. You can't have small talk because you're too deep for shallow connection. You can't celebrate your friend's promotion because you see through the illusion of achievement. And slowly, without realizing it, you've turned your transformation into another form of suffering. You've weaponized your awakening. You've made your emptiness into an identity. And you've cut yourself off from the very humanity you were supposed to be reconnecting with. This trap is subtle, seductive, and spiritually deadly. It can poison everything you've gained and trap you in a new prison, one decorated with crystals and wisdom quotes, but a prison nonetheless. Don't let your transformation become another cage. Click the link in the description to see the exact mistake people make after they stop feeling joy and how to avoid it.